NBC presents Frank Lovejoy in Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the night beat for the Chicago Star. Yep, I cover the night. My beat is about 8 square miles of darkness, and mister, that's a lot of night. Every evening I start walking into it, and let it swirl around me and let it swallow me up. Part of me relaxes, part of me becomes tense and wary. Like a hunter coming back to the jungle, I feel at home, but I know that there's danger. For the night is filled with its own brand of people. A lonely, lost, screwy, mixed-up people of the night, drifting out of the darkness like fragments of a nightmare.
Mister, you look like a decent sport. You don't want a poor, suffering human being to go hungry for want of a dime.
Yeah, a disembodied hand stretched out for that ever-loving coin to buy just another whiff of that fine old anesthetic named muscatel. Or a brittle laugh of a painted tootsie rising out of the night, proving to the world she doesn't care, laughing until the tears come. Or a flurry of footsteps rushing by, a muffled conversation deciding life or death or tonight's movie. An ambulance racing past on its way to General Hospital, its red warning light flashing on and off quickly, like the frenzied pulse beat of the poor devil inside.
Randy Stone, Demon Reporter. Hiya, R.S. How's the old Crusader?
Night is for the phony, too, like this character coming toward me while I was grabbing a bite in the little restaurant next to the radio and TV studio. The actor, on stage 24 hours a day.
You mind if I sit down next to you, baby? Yeah. What do you say? How's the kid, huh?
Oh, the kid's fine. Teething like mad. Nothing serious.
Barrel of laughs, this character. Real sense of humor. You know, I love that column of yours, baby. With me, it's like a shot of Benfordry.
Uh-huh.
The only lack I find in it is that I never see any mention of, guess whom?
Whom?
John Bruce, the world's greatest thespian. Also available for wakes, weddings, and beer butts.
You couldn't see your way clear to letting go of my sleeve so I can finish my coffee.
How do you like this, citizen? He can insult you till you curl up and die, and you still love him. Look, I know the minute I'm out of your sight, you're going to forget me, so I'm going to give you this little postcard to hang on to. If your show could stand the boost, ask for the lad they call John Bruce. Well, it rhymes, anyway.
Yeah, I gotta be going now.
Remember, baby, I don't mind what you say as long as you say something, huh?
Yeah.
That's Bruce spelled with a B.
I know it's spelled with a B. A great, big, beautiful hunk of zero. The sincere brown eyes continually shifting, sizing you up and figuring you out. A friendly smile so phony you look for the safety pins holding it in place. Ah, relax. It's a big night. You walk half a block and John Bruce is lost forever. Because there's always something waiting up ahead. I just turned down Grand Avenue. Oh, now there's one of the night's chilly little sounds for you, a burglar alarm shattering the quiet. I looked down the dark, empty street trying to figure out which store, and I saw a child come darting out of a doorway and began racing the other way. A child. Hey, stop! Stop! I tried racing after it, but there wasn't a chance. I went back to the store. It was a sporting goods place. One window smashed and blood splattered on the glass like the kid had used his naked fist to get to the display of guns and knives inside. After the cops came and I told them what I knew, I continued my wandering. Down through the Lincoln Park district and up through Honky Tonk Road. The wild neon signs making the night bleed red and green and purple. And then the little jazz combo beating their brains out. the barkers, their gold teeth flashing as they bang their canes against the sidewalk and shout about the 12 dancing girls waiting just for you. And they all gent hawking popcorn and hot tamales in a little child's wagon. And George, the 35-inch dwarf who sold newspapers with Clark and Knight. Evening, Georgie. How's it going?
Fine and dandy. Better than good. Always A1 for little Georgie.
Give me the Sun-Times. Always good to see what the competition's up to.
They are.
Paper, read all about it. Get your paper.
That's a lovely headline. One of those silly jerks going to wake up.
Get evening paper.
Hey, George. Maybe the way things are in the world, this is a good idea, but since when have they started printing the paper in blood?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Look for yourself, smeared all over.
That's the way I got it. Yeah, I'll give you another.
Thank you.
Now, let go of my hand.
It's soaking through the bandage, George.
I cut myself in a can opener.
Oh, I hope you went to a doctor.
Doctor?
You've got to get all the glass
I
out.
got all it. I told you it was a can opener.
All I saw in that window was guns and knives. I thought it was a kid.
Okay. So you got yourself a story. Get on the phone. Call the cops. What are you waiting for?
Funny for you to start telling me why a sweet guy is acting like such a dope. What is it, Georgie?
Almost 1 o'clock, a little more than an hour, and she'll be here. Go on. Call the cops. Call the cops. You'll be doing me a favor. If you don't, I'll kill him. I swear I'll kill him.
She'll show up in an hour, and you'll kill him. Kid, you lost me.
All right, Mr. Stone. You're a good guy. You're entitled to a laugh. Come on. Follow me.
He dumped his papers onto the stand and started across the street. 35 inches of desperate humanity. I followed him around back and down the stairs of an old tenement. He stopped at a basement door to fish out a key. I followed him inside a dark, dank hole. He flicked the switch. Fluorescent lights hissed on, throwing a cold white glow over walls draped in black velvet. There were dark booths and a small bar. It was empty, deathly quiet. I knew the establishment, an after-hours joint. When all the legitimate bars closed, those who still sought refuge from the night come to places like this. George headed straight for the only bit of brightness in the room, a gleaming aluminum jukebox in the corner. In the center of the jukebox was a neon mouse, and within the mouse, a microphone. Other neons spelled out the message, "Ask your tune." It operated like your telephone. Somewhere a girl sat at a switchboard connected to 50 such jukeboxes in taverns all over the city. George stood glaring at his tiny reflection in the jukebox shiny chrome.
I hate it. I'd like to smash it to pieces.
What, the jukebox?
The owner of this joint gave me a key so I could come in and get warm on cold nights.
Yeah.
Only you can see for yourself when you're alone. This place can give you the creeps. I thought maybe your tune would cheer me up, so I started horsing around with this jukebox, feeding it my loose nickels, like this. And then her talking to me.
What tune would you like?
It's me, Julie.
Oh, hello, darling.
Darling.
I'm so excited. George, just one more hour. So help me. I've got goose dimples.
Yeah. Me too, Julie.
We'll do it just like we planned. I certainly can't understand your feelings, and I admire you for them. Say, before the boss catches me spooning, I better play a record.
Not a record, Julie. The record.
The record, George.
Okay, you can start laughing anytime you want, Mr. Stone.
What's this all about, George?
10 seconds of conversation with every record. It started as a gag, me playing the big lover because she couldn't see she was talking to a dwarf. It's a big joke, huh? On me. Because talking to her every night, I don't know. Something started happening to me inside. Happening to both of us because she felt it too. She really did, Mr. Stone. I mean, an understanding. I don't know the word. But she felt it too. And then he had to ruin it, destroy it.
Yes, it was soap opera at its sudsy. The little dwarf and his love affair with Julie the jukebox girl. So help me, Georgie even invented an invalid wife. That was his reason why he and Julie could never meet except through the jukebox. But like all little melodramas taken from life, there was also a villain. One of the men who worked in this joint happened to overhear George spilling his heart out. And as a gag, when George wasn't around, he told Julie that the poor guy was dying to meet her in person, that they should get together at least once. And that's what's scheduled for 2 a.m., huh, this meeting?
Yeah. It was Julie's idea. I mean, the way it's going to be. The record made her think of it.
The record?
Yeah, it's from Tchaikovsky. Is that what they call him?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, he and his baroness, some fancy lady, they had a friendship through letters, and they felt that they had to meet at least once. So one day they passed each other in carriages and nodded, without a word, and went on. Never saw each other again.
And what's good enough for Tchaikovsky is good enough for Georgie and Julie, huh?
Yeah. She'll be wearing a green hat and a sprig of violets, and I'll be wearing a red flower. Well, you think she'll be a little surprised at what she's going to see, Mr. Stone? Isn't it a joke? Yeah, it's okay for you to laugh. Go on, laugh, Mr. Stone. Laugh!
I turned. He was a big, paunchy, bald-headed gent, standing in the doorway, having himself a wonderful time. It was right out of Mac's Senate, a barrel of laughs. George, the dwarf, charging right into the big guy who merely lifted him up, shrugged his shoulder, and sent the little fellow flying across the room, crashing into a wall.
Oh, what a character that little monkey is, huh? Did he tell you about his romance?
So you're Cupid.
That's me. I'm even willing to stake him to that rose for his lapel. Nothing's too good for Lover Boy. What a line he's got. You gotta hear it to believe it.
Hey, George! The knife in George's hand would have looked much better back in that sporting goods window. He moved out of the shadows. He moved toward the big guy. A trickle of blood ran down George's mouth, but he didn't know anything about that.
Put that knife away or I'll shove it down your throat.
But George kept coming. The smile on the big man's face took a leave of absence.
Hey, come on now, George. What's the matter? Can't you think a joke?
A bead of sweat started zigzagging down his face, mixing with the talcum powder. His lips continued to work, but now no words came out. Because this thing coming towards him, this wasn't a comical little dwarf. This was death.
NBC is bringing you Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
Enjoy the very best in radio. Be sure that you dial and write. Seems like the very best in radio. Morning, noon, and night. It's from this station. Morning, noon, and night.
And now back to Night Beat and Randy Stone.
George the dwarf was passing in front of me on his way to the big guy who'd loused up his romance with Julie the jukebox girl. The knife glinted in his hand, and he didn't even know that I was there. The only other person in all the world existed for him at that moment was a heavily perspiring fat man. And as George came just a little closer, I lunged him.
Let me go!
Twisted his arm back until the knife clattered to the floor. I reached down for it as George tore loose and ran out of the door.
How do you like that little character trying to knife me? I'm going to call a cop so fast.
Wouldn't that be a little awkward, seeing how the joint here is slightly illegal?
Huh? Well, one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to tell this Jane on the jukebox who she's dealing with. I'm going to tell her this crazy punk's liable.
Mister, you even say howdy to that girl, and I might decide to find George and give him back this knife. I found George all right, slumped against his newsstand, all through wanting to kill anybody. I told him I'd see the cops, and maybe they'd say it was okay if George paid for all the damage to that sports store and behaved himself from now on. That didn't make him feel much better because it was getting awfully close to 2 o'clock in his meeting with Julie. I told him that I'd call Julie and inform her that he'd suddenly come down with a slight case of bubonic plague or something. I got the name of the company off the jukebox in the after-hours joint, the Acme Music Company. I found a phone booth, reached for a coin, and instead came up with a card that said, "If your show can stand a boost, ask for the lad they call John Bruce," and John's beautiful, phony face smiling up at me. All of a sudden, I was looking for the phone number at the bottom of the card, and then I began dialing like mad. That's got to be her.
Which one?
Coming down the street. The green hat, the sprig of violets. Yep.
Wow. This is going to be a distinct pleasure, baby.
Just remember what you're supposed to do, baby. You walk past, you nod, and you keep walking.
What's the mystery all about? You can level with Brucey, boy.
$10, no questions asked. That was the agreement.
Can I at least mumble some quote about...
You open your mouth for anything but breathing.
Okay.
He's almost reached the corner. Move. I stepped back to the paper stand where George was waiting. Together we watched Julie and John Bruce approach each other. Mr. Tchaikovsky never had it so good. She was really something out of body beautiful. As the two approached, George's hand unconsciously fastened on my arm. Now Julie and John were passing each other, their eyes meeting. George's hand began to tighten.
Julie. Oh, how beautiful. How beautiful.
Julie nodded to John Bruce, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw little George nod in return. For one sickening moment, I thought Bruce was going to open his mouth and go into a monologue, but somehow he controlled himself. They passed each other and went on. I looked down at George. His eyes were shining.
It was me. What I said to her, pouring out my heart, that brought her here tonight.
Sure it did.
Yeah. But why couldn't it really have been me? Why couldn't it have been me, Mr. Stone?
Ask the stars. Maybe they had an answer for you, Georgie. Me, I had work to do. I still had my story to find. Somewhere among the waiters, holding their tuxedos away, yawning as they changed into their street clothes. Somewhere among the jazz musicians, their faces waxen with fatigue, their shirt collars soaked in sweat, but still reaching for that beautiful, pure note. Somewhere in the police wagons, screaming insanely down the street. Somewhere in the yellow lights of the general hospital, the mile of empty warehouse, a strip of greasy pier, a desolate park, in an alley, on a street corner. Somewhere in the night, my story was waiting for me. And now, that was all that mattered. By morning, I'd forgotten all about George and Julie and John Bruce. I'd finished my column, and I'd gone home to snooze. Only my saga of the jukebox wasn't ended. It had only just begun. Yeah.
Hiya. I wake you up after 10 a.m.
Well, what do you know? What do you want, Bruce?
I do okay?
Oh, you are magnificent. I'll see you around.
Oh, wait a minute, Randy.
Yeah.
The broad.
Yeah?
Friend of yours?
No.
What was that routine? You got old Johnny Boy guessing.
Well, good for Johnny Boy. See you around.
Randy, look, as long as she's not a friend, like they say, where can I locate this kid? Maybe we'll have a couple of laughs together. Huh? No kidding, baby. Where can I find her?
Goodbye now. Yeah, when you're in my racket, when you deal with these characters on the night beat, brother, you've got to be prepared for the totally unexpected. Johnny Boy had fallen for the lady of the jukebox like a ton of bricks. Of course, he couldn't come right out and say it plain and simple. He had to ham it right up to the hilt. But I knew the score. And from then on, he haunted me night and day.
Ah, come on, Randy. Who is she? Where can I find her? Give the girl a break, huh?
He'd corner me on the street, at the newspaper, at my home.
Who is she, Randy? Come on, be a pal. What's wrong with me looking her up and giving her a little attention?
Day after day after day.
Where can I find her, Randy? What's the big mystery?
For a while, I even enjoyed it. He was sweating, and on him it looked good. But I guess this morning I just wasn't in the mood. I'd come down to the office around 5 a.m. And any newspaper office that time of day is a pretty sad affair. Cleaning women sloshing their way up and down the aisle, the gray, listless dawn flat against the windows, the empty desks, and me with one of those real sour little tales to write about a bum they'd found behind some garbage cans on Skid Row. A bum with a Distinguished Service Cross pinned to the pocket of his filthy shirt. One of those gallant young gods that we swore we'd never forget. Yeah, I was feeling Jim Dandy as I sat down to my typewriter, and I whipped a hunk of paper into the roller. And then I saw John Bruce standing in the shadows across the room from me.
Hello, Randy.
Well, friend, I'm not in the mood this morning. I've got work to do.
Randy, you've got to listen to me.
They found him a little after midnight behind a wine shop.
Randy, you've got to tell me where I can find him.
Just another bum. Sleeping it off.
Randy, listen to me. You've got to tell me what...
Look, Buster. I'm telling you nothing. You understand that? One dame is going to escape the same John Bruce charm. It's a very small tragedy. Now, clear out of it.
If you'll only listen to me, please.
I'm slightly bored with listening to you, Mr. Bruce. I'm even more bored with looking at you, Mr. Bruce. You're so phony it sticks out like measles, Mr. Bruce, from your crisp, curly hair right down to your beautifully polished shoes. If this comes as a great surprise...
No great surprise, Randy. Since when can a guy keep that kind of news from himself?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm pretty tired.
I don't know what it is. I won't even try to explain it. I can't explain it to myself. It's that success bug. It's dog eat dog. Anything goes as long as you make it. Why do you have to make it? Does it say so in the Constitution?
Look.
But about her, I'm not putting on any act about her, Randy. I'm a big boy now. Love at first sight. Am I kidding? Listen, Randy. We just exchanged a look, maybe 5 seconds. And until the day I die, I won't be able to forget it. I guess that sounds like some more of Johnny Boy's routine, huh?
No. Go on.
Go on? What can I tell you? How do you explain it? But in those few seconds, I saw something I've been looking for all my life, Randy. Something genuine. Something real. Something... Well, maybe I saw my own salvation, Randy. Or maybe I was just kidding myself, selling myself a bill of goods. But I got to find out. I got to see her again, talk to her. Maybe the minute she opens her mouth, the dream will come tumbling down like Humpty Dumpty. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Now, where is she, Randy?
The Acme Music Company. Only take your time. She doesn't show up until night. I don't know why I did it. Maybe it was something I saw in John Bruce's eyes that made me feel if I didn't tell him, well, it would have been a bum deal for Julie. I wanted to reach George right away, try to explain what I'd done, but I didn't know where to look for him except at his newsstand. In my world of the night, all you ever know about anyone is where they are right now. I didn't sleep much that day. Making George understand wasn't going to be any cinch. But he had to know that this had been a sick thing that could only hurt him in the end. That night, I hurried right onto his newsstand, only he wasn't around. I started worrying, and on a hunch, I went across the street to the after-hours joint. The door was ajar. I went in. He was there, squatting in front of a jukebox, listening to his song. His back was to and I searched my mind like crazy for the right words. He was fumbling with some coins, and he slipped one of them into the jukebox.
Like it, darling?
Oh, you know I do. Every time I hear it, I see you again. So beautiful.
You're pretty beautiful yourself, mister.
Julie, it's wonderful to hear you say that.
I backed out quick. I didn't get it. Why hadn't she gone with John Fruit? I hopped a cab for the Acme Music Company, a dilapidated office in a loft on Huron Street. Front door was open, so I went on inside. An empty desk with papers scattered all over, but nobody around. I went into a dark hallway marked no admittance. Ahead of me was a lighted glass door with the word studio painted on it. I started for it when someone came running up behind me.
Hey, you, can't you read the sign? No admittance. I thought that was very clear.
Well, there wasn't anybody at the desk.
You're telling me something I don't know? Quitting without a minute's notice. That's a fine thing, huh?
Mister...
But wait, that Sally, she'll want a reference someday. I'll give her a reference, all right. Now, come on.
Sally, is she the one who quit?
Without a minute's notice. A jerk comes popping in. I was working in bank. Next thing you know, she's walking out of here with him. But that's okay. Someday she'll want a reference.
Sally is a dark-haired girl, beautifully built.
So she's beautifully built. Big deal. Come on, mister. I got 50 things to do.
Then that would be Julie working in the studio up ahead.
So?
Well, do you mind if I peek in through the door? Then I'll go.
You want to peek? All right, peek. With Julie, I'm not worried about her running off. With Julie, I'm safe.
Yes, he was safe with Julie. As I looked through the glass door, I thought, sure, it figures. Two can play the same game. The dwarf had his John Bruce, and Julie had her Sally. Julie couldn't have shown up for a meeting with George even if she wanted to, because I very much doubt that Julie could have lifted her 350 pounds out of that chair. Huge, sprawling Julie, working like mad at her switchboard with its flashing lights from jukeboxes all over the city. And then while I watched as she answered one call, something happened. Her eyes lit up in a strange and wonderful way. Then she flicked a switch that played a certain record for a certain jukebox, and her eyes became even more bright. I didn't have to hear the rest of the record. She was playing their song for her guide, George. And all of a sudden, I realized how right George was. Julie was. Yeah, that's how it is when you walk the night, babe. You walk.
Check, testing. Fuck it. Hey, good morning, everyone. How are we today? How's it going? I'm doing just great. Just great. Good morning, Joey. How are you today? How's it going? Told the girls about your vacation. They're excited. Now we're trying to figure out what to do. What are we going to do? Camping. Natalie says she would prefer to go to Big Bear, which is only like a little over an hour. It's the mountain that looks out over us. So there's that. I'm thinking a couple of nights in Big Bear hanging out with the dogs, playing in the water. That ought to be fun. Good. I'm glad to hear that you're all right, brother. Oi. Natalie, is just about done with school. We're all so excited to have her out of school. We miss her so much. I have missed her for, God, 15, 16 years since she started in kindergarten. Yeah, that's the way the world works. Steal your kids. Brainwash them. Give them back to you in different people. Ooh. Just bring it with you. Oh, wait, you're not driving. That's right. That's right. Well, I'd rather have you here. But I can't wait either way. Waiting on a couple of albums, huh? Yeah, well, leave room in your bag to go home so we can send you home with a few things this time. That's right. Don't bring so much stuff. This will be the third time in just over a year that you'll be out here. That's weird, huh? Third time in just over a year. Wow. That is pretty cool, man. I'm not wearing a hat. So we got a bit of a shine here this morning. I forgot to comb over. Yeah, heal me now and comb it over later. Let me see. I might as well get a hat because it's just going to look weird. I'm trying to do this show anew, and a hat is part of the wardrobe. So let me get my hat. This is me hat. This is me hat. This is me hat. This is me hat. There we go. That's better. That's better, baby. It's fried egg. It's fried egg. Let's see. Stopped by the old pot shop yesterday. Again, it's a once a week deal. And got another half ounce a week. That's me. People are like, "Are you kidding me? A half an ounce? You smoke a half an ounce a week?" Yeah, it ain't pretty, but it is real. It ain't real pretty. Oh, yeah. Well, and most of it's in the mornings. It takes a lot of pot to get me here in the morning. It does. I am not a, come on, close up. You stupid bag. Your old bag. Oh, wait, it's not an old bag, it's old fingers. There you go. There you go. There you go. Last night's episode of McCloud was episode 2 of season 7? 8, 9? The last season. I think it's 7. Second episode, 'twas the fight before Christmas, and it was a fantastic episode. It was directed by Dennis Weaver. And from the opening shots, it was a different kind of feel to the show. It really was. I'm like, wow, this is different. The camera angles, the way that things were set up, it was really, really fine. They did this one shot where the bad guy, he broke out a window, and there was this hole in the window about this big, and it was one of those frosted windows with the wire inside of it, right? So he just busted it out, and this little spot, right? And there's this scene where his face is looking right at the hole, and his face is like right close to the hole in the glass, and then through the hole in the glass, perfectly clear, is the image of McCloud walking down the hallway, right? And those types of shots were not easy to do. Special effects were very difficult back then, in film and in television. And to get a perfectly clear shot of a guy's face and the door and the hole in the glass, and to get that picture beyond that perfectly clear, and those two pictures, the shot was just magnificent. Way to go, Dennis Weaver. It was a great fucking episode. From beginning to end, it was a great fucking episode. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it last night. I'm glad we decided to stay up and watch that. It put me to bed a little late, but it was worth it. Yeah. It's totally... You get a chance, watch McCloud, the 1970s TV series. It's done in movies. All right? It's not your average 30-minute or 60-minute TV show. It's a 90-minute movie 6 or 7 times a year. That was the series. They didn't do weekly shows. They didn't do a series. They didn't do, well, we got to buy up 25 episodes. They didn't do that. They did a half dozen or better, and that was it. That was the season. And they were movies. They were little mini 90-minute movies. Each episode is 90 minutes, fits into a 2-hour time slot, and they're movies. And they're fucking fantastic. It doesn't compare with anything today. Today you've got series, you've got little 10-episode dealies. At the most you got, like 20-something episodes on the regular TV. Things are different. And especially back then, to have a series of 90-minute movies. All right? If you think about that, that is a lot. That's a lot of TV. That's a lot of McCloud. That's a lot of getting to know that character. And that's what I just dig about those better than an hour shows. Columbo, he was doing hour and 15-minute episodes, and they were fitting it into a 90-minute time slot. So you get less commercials, but you also get less show. And those are long episodes. Those 90-minute episodes, they do not disappoint. They go on and on and on. That's good entertainment. I like, I like volume. I like a lot with my shows. I like a good show. I like quality, but I like quantity. Yesterday we went down to Palm Desert. This is we just finished up the second to the last week of school for my daughter at the university for this year. She got one more year after this. So I dropped her off, and she's got to get there a little bit early so she can talk to her professor and get some input on her on the essay that she had to write, right? Paper. We call it a paper now. And then before the lab, after the class, she had to get with him again and make sure that he was okay. And she couldn't format the numbers, big deal. She couldn't format the numbers correctly for the page thing. And he's a real stickler about it. He's like, you know what, it's only a couple of points, and knowing you're going to have extra, so don't worry about it. She's like, okay. So she didn't. She just put it out of her head. Last night she came home and ate a gummy later on in the evening and said, I ain't doing no homework. I'm like, good for you, good for you. Yeah. She does enough. If she decides that she's going to take a break, well, then she's fucking earned it. And she's not doing it just because she's fucking lazy. She's earned a break. Of course, she's got laziness in her because I'm her dad. So she's half go-getter and half fuck it. I'll do it later. And that's pretty cool. And I love it when she says, nah, I'm not doing anything right now. Because she's always, always, always telling me, all right, I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. And she's always reporting on how much she's doing. So when she reports on how much she's not going to do right now, I'm like, yay! She's taking a break. You going to come watch a movie? No. What are you going to do? I'm going to stay in my room, play games, talk to people on the phone. That's what she does. What else are you going to do, right? I love it. I love it when she takes a break. I love it when she just chills the fuck out. Just chill out. She's like, I don't want to work. Her friends all work. They don't have any time off to go to shows with her. She's like, I don't want to work. And I said, well, see, stay in school. Stay in school. If you want to be rich, if you want to make some money, if you want to, even if you don't want to be rich, if you just want to have a bunch of money all the time, working isn't really the answer, because that just creates more reason for you to have to spend more money, basically. When you become a slave to a society and to the work and all of that stuff, all it does is beget more reason to spend. That's it. So that, okay, well, you got a job, but in order to get to the job, you got to have a car. So now you got to make a car payment, but you got to make insurance payments. You got to have a license. You got to do all this. You got to have gas, and it creates this whole economic bubble that gets really, really tight. And if you don't have enough to take care of it, then it pops, and then you're screwed, and then you wind up Merry Christmas. No, it's just horrible, because you get wrapped into this cycle of needing more money, So I'm hoping that by the time she gets to where she's going to start working, she'll start working and basically earn more money than she needs. That's where she needs to be. She needs to be bringing in more money than she needs. And if she's living at home, she don't need much money. She kicks in wherever she wants to, wherever she can, but it's not required when she lives at home. That's what parents are for. I'm not one of those, you're 18, get out or pay rent kind of people. I'm not. She's 20 and she's still at home, and she's like, Joey I think knows what I mean. I mean, I think Joey's still living at home, doing the family thing, which is really important to have support. And that's what a family should be. Family shouldn't be a burden. Family should be support. Whether you're part of the bills or part of the income, it doesn't matter. Family's family, and that's the way I see it. And I did my part for a couple of decades being the guy. Now I'm broken. Now I do as much as I can. See, you pay rent. Is it a requirement, or is it something that you decided? See. So not much. Then it's probably something that your dad decided. All right, you got to pay something, right? You got to have some rules, some regular. You got to learn how to live like an adult. So you got to pay rent, right? One of those deals. Yeah. That's good. That's important. Oh, well, so you offer to pay. See, there you go. Didn't offer to pay much, though, huh? I'll give you $50 a month, Dad. No, it doesn't matter what the fact is that you care enough, right? You realize that there's an income and an outgoing, an incoming and an outgoing. If you realize that as an adult, and you realize how much money's coming in and how much money's going out, and if you're making the money going out greater, then it needs to be offset with some money coming in by you. That's all that works. That's how it works, You never pay on time. See, that's cool. That's okay, but that's what family is for. The fact that you actually care enough to want to pay. Most parents would have to tell their kid, look, you need to do something, right? I don't want to tell my daughter she needs to pay rent. I mean, honestly, if she's going to pay rent here at home, which probably wouldn't be that much, then she would have a job, basically. But she doesn't have a job. She goes to school. Her income is whatever she makes, whatever she keeps at the end of the semester. That's how much she's earned. It isn't a lot, but she doesn't spend a lot. And we don't require her to spend any money at home. She spends what she wants. If something comes up and it's an emergency and she can afford to deal with it, she's the first one to say, I'll take care of it. She's the first one to offer up her credit card, right? So I never have to ask her, and I never do. Every once in a while I'll say, oh shit, this is gonna take cash. Do you have any cash on you? And she might have a few bucks on her. I always tell her, keep cash on you. Keep a few bills tucked in your wallet somewhere, and always keep it there. And if it goes out for an emergency, get it back in there. Because cash is king. And if you really, really need something to happen now, you need a few bucks. Sometimes, you pull up to a place to park and it's cash only. Not too much anymore because they got those little things on their phones. Yeah, just swipe it here. Just tap it here on my phone. Just tap my phone. I ain't touching your fucking phone, man. I'll double tap your ass. Tap, tap. There's Hitman video game coming at me now. I'm probably going to set up my PlayStation 2 here on this little TV here so I can play some Hitman. Yeah, Hitman. That's a crazy game. That is my daughter likes that game. The Mardi Gras one. I don't remember what that one is, Blood Money or something. But it's really, really cool. I mean, all the different weapons and all the different techniques and the different takedowns. And it's just really cool. It's fun. I've got a couple older video games. I don't like the newer video games so much because they're so hyper intense, and most of them are online stuff, and most of them you have to do the in-app crap, and it just doesn't have the same feel. Nowadays, when I play a video game, a new video game, it feels like I'm in a commercial television program, and at any second I'm going to get hit with a commercial, or they're going to make me want to buy something. Oh man, in order to get to the next level quicker, I got to get this. It's like, fuck that. Well, it used to be that if you wanted to get to the next level, you had to work your fucking ass off. And if it was those video games that you couldn't just keep continuing on, save and continue, it was one of those games where you had to start playing and keep playing until you got to the end, where it was like you had to get better and better and better and better and better. And nowadays you had to have more and more and more money in order to be better and better. And it's just a weak ass fucking thing. I know not all new games are like that. But most of them are. Most of them, you're loading up the game and it says the same game has in-app purchases. You want to load up your card now? Load up your card now. There are some that don't go that extreme. But expansion packs, same thing. Expansion, you got to spend more money to go a little bit further, so you get an expansion. If you want the game to be better, you got to get an expansion pack. So not all games are like that. Strategy games, turn-based strategy games, yes, I like those. I like real-time, what do you call, simulated war type games. All right, the ones that I grew up playing in my 20s and 30s were ones like Command and Conquer. Okay, the Command and Conquer style, the early Warcraft was like that. Citizen was like that, or Civilization. That's what it was. Civilization was like that. The turn-based strategy games, those I really like. And the ones that are like real-time simulated strategy games, where you're over here building a base and building a warehouse to store stuff, and building a weapons plant, and then you're building a vehicle plant, and then you're building all these things, and then you just keep building and building and building and building, and spread your base out and cover it and put up, anti-artillery, anti-tank shit, and building planes and helicopters and going out on sorties and missions and recon and stuff, and exposing the maps. Yeah, that kind of stuff. And that's why I like Minecraft, because it is very similar in structure. The games are different, but you can build and build and build and get powerful. And then if you're playing with people, then you've got this little army, this little band, right? And then now you can go out and explore. And that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to sit here with a couple of Switches and have a couple of people out in the world with a couple of gaming consoles, and all of us kind of get together in the worlds that I've created and explore them further, explore them anew, explore, with the intention of killing a lot, right? Doing a lot of heavy-duty gaming, right? I mean, I built up these worlds that are like several maps in size. And it's not just like, okay, I've opened up the map and I built a fortress here. No, I mean, like, I've opened up a map and I've built roads all over the fucking place. Look up Fire Emblem. It's a turn-based strategy game series. I'll do that. Let me write it down right now. All right. We're going to show Fire Anima. Fire Anima. I don't know. That sounds kind of cool. Oh, Emblem. Okay. I was going to say Fire Anima. That would hurt. Sheesh. Oh my God. Let's see. Let me get the box for the day. I haven't done that yet. Let me do that. Whew. Oh, this one's heavy. Oh, this one's heavy. It's got stuff in it. All right, here we go. Turn it around so I get my empty cardboard box here. All right. Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? All right, the record for the day is Foreigner. Self-titled, first album. Feels like the first time, because it is. Cold as Ice, Star Rider, Head Knocker, The Damage is Done, Long, Long Way from Home, Woman, a Woman, At War with the World, Fool for You Anyway, I Need You. Great fucking record. Lou Gramm, lead vocals. Mick Jones, lead guitar vocals. Ian McDonald, guitars, keyboards, horns, vocals. Al Greenwood, keyboard synthesizer. Ed Gagliardi, Gagliardi. There you go, Gagliardi. Ed Gagliardi, bass vocals. And Dennis Elliott on drums. Yeah. And this one is 1977. Okay. One of my favorite. I mean, I could just put that fucker on and listen to it like over and over and over again. It is such a great fucking song, album. It's just got some great hits on it. Every single one of those fucking songs is awesome. You know what? It sounds familiar, Fire Emblem. It really does. I was playing computer games back in the late 90s. I had just in 1999, 98, when I was playing Dune and the first Command & Conquer games, I had just recently owned a Nintendo 64, a PlayStation, and a Sega Genesis. So I had these 3 console game consoles, and that was cool. So I could just go to the rental place and rent a game and check it out, play it, and then if I liked the game, I could just keep the game for a few extra bucks. I want to keep this copy. All right, that'll be $32.50 for the game. Yeah, it's crazy. Hear me now and think about it later. It's spectacular. It's friggin' spectacular. I'm gonna type in foreigner. Or how the hell do you spell foreigner? Foreigner. Foreigner. Where is it? There it is. Ainer. Foreigner. Full album. There we go. Foreigner full album. And that's the one right there. That's the ticket. Yeah. Let's see. I don't see where it's just the LP ripped. Which is what I like. I like the LP ripped. Full playlist. Tommy Frankfurt playlist. And we got the playlist here. I'm gonna go copy it. And then, so we got Feels Like the First Time, Cold as Ice, Star Rider, Head Knocker, The Damage Is Done. So it looks like you got all of the songs burned, hopefully from LP, because that'd be nice. That'd be totally nice. Alright, I'm going to go to the show. Let me kill the volume on the show so I'm not talking over myself. And let me see here. And poof, it should be popping up here. There it is. And let me just paste this in here. And then for Ainer. Oh, I said. And then we're going to say 1977. There we go. There we have it. I've done my part. Oh, look. I got a bong hit here. You know what I got to do with it? I got to kill it. What I need is one of them codec things, one of them program things that allow me to play older Windows-based stuff on my newer Windows computer. That's what I need. I've got a copy of Dune. It's just the file. But I don't know how to open it and play it. So there you go. What I think I am going to do is let me do old PC, and I'm going to bring in my old 1990s PC and an old monitor and see if I can get this fucker to boot up. It's been sitting out in my storage trailer for years. I've had it for decades. It's been sitting for 20 years unused. I started it up several years ago and moved everything, copied the hard drive and copied it over onto one of my laptops because it wasn't, information has, changed. So it wasn't a lot of data. And then I got an external hard drive, a laptop or two after that, and started moving over old laptop hard drives. So I would just take, basically I would take anything on the hard drive that was important. I'd go to the picture file and I would copy all of the pictures in the picture file and move that over to a hard drive. And then go to the documents, copy all the documents, move them over. All the videos, move them over. All the music, move it over. So I've got these files of stuff that I burned onto the computer, stuff that I searched for, stuff that I downloaded, stuff that I created over the last 25 plus years. So, and I do have a lot of that stuff already on my hard drive, my external hard drive. But I'm thinking, well, God, there's got to be something that's still there that I didn't move, right? And that's why I don't throw away the computers either. So I've got a little stack of laptops and my old desktop computer from 1999 when I went to Fry's and bought the stuff to build my own little computer. Nothing big, just a little video card, audio card, graphics card, that kind of stuff, so that I could play video games. And it was real cheap to build it there. I bought the the box, and then bought all the little components. Back then it wasn't, 25 years ago, it wasn't real difficult to build your own computer. I'm really tempted now to go to Best Buy and buy one of their big brick thingies with a cooler and lights and fancy stuff inside of it, and then start adding. The only thing is that I would probably have to get everything at once in order to make it happen now, or it would take so long to dribble out the little parts to put it together. By the time I put it together, it would be out of date, right? But I would really love to have a desktop computer that's got like 10 terabytes of memory, something with, a terabyte of RAM, something that's really, really fast, but then you gotta get all of that stuff and build. A lot of it is software, but the software don't do shit if you don't have the right hardware. So there's that. There is that. Wow, it's 5:30ish. All right, I need to heat that up. I need the coffee and the bong hits to just keep coming this morning. Thank God it's Friday. What do you think, Joey? You glad it's Friday? You got the weekend off? What are you doing? What's going on? And what do you want to do when you get over here for vacation? What do you want to do? I'm going to heat this up. Anything in particular you want to do? You want to go to Disneyland? Yeah, man. Keep the coffee hot and the bong hits fresh, man. Totally. You're cleaning. Jeez. Yeah, I need a Q-tip and I'll be cleaning. Do your ears get sweaty when you wear headphones a lot? Man, mine just get annoying. Fucking ears. As my wife would say, chop them off. Oh, get out of the house. Okay, well, we can accommodate that. You'll have your car, and there's plenty to do out here. So we'll try to plan a little bit of something. Physically, I'm pretty screwed up. The last time that I saw you, I was in much better shape than I am now. I don't know. Having my teeth taken out and then my diet being really, really poor lately has really taken its toll on me physically. So I run out of energy quick. I'm going to be wearing my teeth more lately because I've gotten them dialed in a little bit better. So hopefully my energy level will be coming up, and I'll want to do more. But there is a lot to do. I mean, literally, we can go as far as the river in Lake Havasu over here, as far as Vegas, down to San Diego, and over to the beach. I mean, there's within a couple of hours here, you can really get anywhere. I mean, literally, Vegas is 3 hours up the road. LA is 2 hours that way. The river is 2 or 3 hours that way. San Diego is 2.5 hours that way. You know. Yeah, everything's like right here. Natalie said she just wants to go up to Big Bear to camp. She's not a camper. The only reason she agrees to go camping is because Papa wants to go camping, and he likes to have family around. So, my thing is to just get a canopy that has a yard built in a fenced-in yard in the canopy so that we can set it up right up against the van and have it so they can't go under the van and they can't get out of the canopy, and have the dogs with us. And between the van and the canopy as a yard, they'll be completely content, right? Hanging out with us, doing stuff for a couple of days up in the mountains. And basically, I want them there because, well, A, we can't leave them at home for too long by themselves because they got to go pee-pee and poo-poo and stuff. And we don't leave the door open. My dogs aren't allowed to stay outside unattended. Anything can fucking happen. So I want to take them with us, of course. If we don't take them, then my wife's going to want to stay behind, and I don't want that either. So I'm with the whole family there, you included, Joey. And we will set up a couple of tents. We got a little tent for my wife and I that's just big enough to get the air mattress in, the queen size air mattress, and bags and a table and stuff so that we can have our own little tiny little bedroom. We have a cabin tent that somebody gave to me, and the last time we went camping, my friend and I, we set it up, and it was a great big tent with a big open floor. So we've got that for you that's big enough to put the tent and chairs in the evening to hang out. So and then we've got the canopy, and then of course my daughter, the whole reason I have the van is so my daughter will go camping with us. I know she'll sleep in the van with a big giant yacht deep cell battery in it, a TV, lights, plug, a bed, all the amenities of home. So she's like, yeah, I'll sleep in there with the dogs. So she's good to go. When we were coming home from my wife's brother's birthday party a couple of weeks ago, I had been, after about 5 hours at the party, I had to go into the van and take my teeth out because they were starting to hurt, and eat some beans and chill out and actually, relax. And because my diet is so screwed up and my energy level is low, after about 5 or 6 hours, I just had to go take a nap. So I went into the van, set up a really nice, comfortable bed in the van, and took a nap. And then at the end of the evening, I left the bed in the back of the van, and we drove home. And my daughter's like, she didn't want to sit in the chair; she wanted to get into the bed. And I'm like, "Go for it." She's like, "Is it okay?" I said, "Yeah, go for it." So she actually was laying in the bed in the back of the van on the way home. And so she's like, after that little experience, she's like, yeah, I could do this. I could do this camping. Because the back of the van, getting in that van is just so much fun. Especially with like a DVD player, the VCR hooked up, the TV hooked up. Get some of those cool lights on in there. Yeah, the dogs, some food, whatever. I think I'm going to take the seats in the middle. I'm going to take the seats in the middle out when we go camping. Mainly because it's easier to pack stuff in. And then there's more room to move around, and it's easier to move around when you're, or at least one chair. I might leave one seat in, because the way I make the bed to sleep in is not across from window to window, but from the back door toward the front. So one chair on one side, adjusted to the right distance, helps keep the mattress on top of the couch from sliding around, right? It keeps it blocked in there. So I think what I'll do is I'll grab a sleeping bag and stuff in the sleeping bag these 3 cushions that I have. I got them at the thrift shop, and they're just old couch cushions, but they're thin, and they're really soft, and they're really wide. It was for a really big couch with thin cushions, right? And they're in really good condition. That's why I got them. So I take those and stuff those in a row inside of a sleeping bag, and now it's this actual mattress. So she'll be sleeping on that. My wife and I will be sleeping on an air mattress in a tent, as will you, Joey. We don't get dogs. Natalie says she wants all the dogs, which is good, because I feel safer about the dogs being in the van, all locked up and nice and cozy with her, than in a thin tent with us. If I got to wrestle a bear or something, that's fine, but I don't want my dogs there getting in trouble at the same time. I've had many encounters with bear in Northern California and Northern Nevada. So I know that it's not good to have a dog around, unless, of course, that dog's asleep and don't wake up, which was my closest bear encounter. Was I was in a tent with a dog underneath the blanket. We were underneath 3 or 4 blankets. While it was spring and summer and fall, it was up in the mountains, so at nighttime you needed to have a lot of blanket, right? So I was in a tent, but I was living in a tent for 4 months in Mammoth, California, out on what they call the Scenic Loop. So I was living out on the Scenic Loop in a tent with my pickup truck. And it was a big cabin tent. You could stand fully erect in it. And on one side of the tent, I had it wasn't exactly a queen size, but it was the futon, the large futon. And it was up on a wood frame. So I had a bed in there up off the floor. On the bed, I had 100 pillows and 100 blankets. So it was really big and comfy and cozy. And then in my tent, I had a cooler and a stereo and a bunch of other shit. And then in the truck, I kept the cooler with everything, all the food and stuff. I only kept a couple of things in the tent. So I get up one morning, and a bear had come to my truck and gotten in the back of my pickup into a bag of food and a cooler that had a couple of things in it. It was the end of the week, so there wasn't much in it. But it had happened in the middle of the night while I was sleeping, and that bear was 5 feet from my tent. 5 feet from the tent of my door, because that's where my truck was. The truck was parked right up against my tent. So that bear was there in the middle of the night fucking around. And the dog, he never got out of Frodo, my friend's dog. My friend was on tour, going seeing family and friends and stuff. So he left his dog with me. And me and the dog, we were camped out on the Scenic Loop, which the only way I would have done that was having the dog with me. I wouldn't have felt as comfortable being out there without a dog. And he was a big, giant Chow German Shepherd mix. Just a big, big, beautiful dog. I'll try to dig up a picture someday. I don't know if I have any pictures of Frodo. But in that same place, I came home from work one day. Me and Frodo came home from work one day. We were house painters. And the bear had come to my tent and had cut a big slice right in my tent, right next to the door, of course. Why don't you just use a zipper, you fucker? So, and he had gotten in, and he had found some dried Kool-Aid in a pack. It was a pack of dried Gatorade or Kool-Aid or something like that. Powdered drink mix. I think it was Crystal Light, actually. And he had run amok in there, just tearing up, looking for... And there was nothing in there, just the smell of that Crystal Light. So I just took duct tape and just taped up, stitched it with duct tape on both sides, and continued to use that tent for the rest of the summer until my friends said they were coming home, and then they sent me their portion to get a house, and I went and I found us a big 3-bedroom house and rented that before they got back. And it was great because I was there for a little while by myself getting stuff ready. And then Heather showed up first, I think. She showed up. So I did her room, and her ceiling I did with blue sky and clouds. Patchwork of clouds. So I did her ceiling like that. I was a painter, so I did my ceiling down in the bottom of the house, the main floor. The bedroom was huge. It was like half the main floor. So I took that room. I didn't need that much space. I took it because I rented the house, so I was the guy. Of course, I think Chris took that room over later after I left. But I painted my ceiling all midnight blue, just as dark as you could get without being black. And then I dotted it with stars and constellations and put a big glow-in-the-dark moon up on the ceiling. And that was my room in that house. And I only lived there for 4 or 5 months before I hit the road and came back to Southern California to get, some better year-round work and get away from the snow and get down there where there were more people, because the population of women to men up there was really low ratio. There was a lot of men and very few women, and I knew I wasn't going to find a significant other up there. I had dated a couple of girls, and I had just recently dated a girl up there, right? And we were both moving away. I was moving away first, but then she was taking off and going back east again, and just giving up the mammoth life, right? And I don't know, had we both stuck it out, my life might have turned out a little different. I might have stayed up there, and I might have had a relationship up there. I don't think that any relationship I would have had with any traditional American women would have worked, right? Because the traditional American women nowadays are into something else than I'm into. I'm way old school, and I would literally have to go and find some rural town somewhere in the Midwest and start going to church to find the kind of girl that I wanted to find. And as it turns out, I didn't have to do that. I just had to find somebody with those old school values in my area. And it wasn't Mammoth. I had to go down where there were more people in order to find that person. And I did. And I think that next week I decided to talk about how I met my wife. So I think next Friday we're going to do that. And while it's in the 90s, and I don't like to go talk about stuff post-80s, we're going to do that. Because eventually my daughter, is going to hopefully watch a lot of this stuff at some point. And she'll get the little messages and stuff that are mainly for her. And I'm sure she's heard the story a number of times. But I sure love to tell the story of how I met my wife. It's very cool. It's very PG and bland, but it's very, very cool. To me, it's just one of those movie things, something that only happens in the movies. Very simple, nothing dramatic, nothing like, oh my God, he jumped out of a plane and there you... No, nothing weird. Nope. Yeah. You don't know how your parents met? Well, ask. Find out. That's history stuff. I don't know how my parents met. I know that they knew each other in high school, that she was a surfer and he was a greaser, and they dated a little bit. But he was dating another girl. He was dating a girl named Sandra, I think. He had this tattoo on his arm with her name. He had a Playboy bunny head on one side and he had her name on the other. He said, never get a tattoo. Especially if somebody's name. I never got a tattoo. Never. Not one in my entire life. And I don't plan to. And I hope my daughter never gets a tattoo. Nothing against people with tattoos. All right? Some people don't do tattoos. Some people do tattoos and it's like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. It doesn't work on you, you know. How do you know it works on me? You know, it's like, oh, geez, one of those people. Yeah. No, tattoos just aren't for me, you know. I'm too hairy, basically. I'm going to have to design tattoos that grow hair, but, you know, in order for them to look good, you know. Let's do a fuzzy mushroom over here and a guy with a beard here and a lady's legs over here. You know, it's like a field of blonde grass. I don't know how to do that. So, yeah. There you go. But I don't know how my parents really met. I just know that they were both from Chicago. They both wound up in Sierra Madre, Sierra Madre area, Covina, that area. Covina High, I think. So, Baldwin Park area. That's where he went to school. And she got pregnant. And his father found out and made them go down and get married the next day. As soon as they found out she was pregnant, he took them down and got them married. Bang, you're married. You got her pregnant, you're marrying her. Period. End of story. And then, you know, not a couple of years later, he gets in trouble because he's still just a fucking kid, right? He gets in trouble with the law. He's in a car that somebody steals, and of course, hey man, hop in, let's go for a cruise. Yeah, cool, man. Hey, it's a nice car. Where'd you get this car? Yeah, man, I borrowed it. And they get pulled over, and he goes to the court, and the judge says, all right, well, listen, punk. You fucking punk. You brown-skinned punk. You can go to prison, or you can join the military and go to Vietnam. And that's how he went to Vietnam. It wasn't anything, you know, I'm going to volunteer for my country. And no, my father was half Native American, right? And all rebel. And I don't see him volunteering. He did it because he wanted to stay out of prison. I would have gone to fucking prison. Put a gun in my fucking hand and point me over there. Fuck that. No, I'd have gone to prison. I'd have done my fucking time. And then I'd have gone to fucking school. And he came back from Vietnam. Of course, a changed person, but he came back and went to school. Within a couple of years of being out of Vietnam, he was attending college, which was, you know, perfect. You know, it's too bad he didn't do that before. But yeah. And of course, my father's in Vietnam. Well, I'll quote it. My father is in Vietnam, and my mother is here in the States by herself with a baby, out partying, just fucking partying. kid in the back seat, and she's partying away. And then at some point, she's pregnant at home without him. She becomes pregnant with me, and she's out partying. And I think that one of the reasons why she was out doing so much partying while she was pregnant with me was she was trying to get rid of me. She didn't want him to come back and find out that she was pregnant. Yeah. I don't know how she got pregnant. That's the mystery. How did she get pregnant? Right? Of course, when he came back, he had a totally different outlook on life, because he got a girl pregnant while he was in Vietnam and made a baby and had a family. So when he left Vietnam, he had to leave that. And he saw all kinds of death and destruction and babies orphaned and stuff. And then he orphans a baby and comes back. And then he orphans a baby and comes back to find out that he's got another orphan baby to take care of. He's got a bastard child to take care of. The woman he's married to is pregnant with a second child. But he wasn't around. So that's my life's confusion. That's the only thing that's in life that confuses me, is honestly where I came from. That's the only thing, you know. But like I said, she didn't want me. I could tell right up until the last time that I hung out with her and talked to her that she never wanted me. She never wanted me. She never wanted me around. She tolerated me. They were going to put me up for adoption, and quite possibly had put me up for adoption. And I think my father reversed that. He's like, you can't put the kid up for adoption. Come on. It's not his fault. Which was what my father always told me. You know, it's not the kid's fault. And he was always prepping me and priming me for the truth, but he never got there. He either never felt I was ready for the truth, or he just never had the balls to tell me. She should have been the one to tell me. But she never did. She just hated me and resented me. And treated me really, really different than everybody else. So, yeah. I mean, I grew up just really fucking confused. Why? I mean, why everything? You know, why the stories? Why these stories that allude to a child that, you know, that was me, but they couldn't say it. You know, why? You know, why? Why, oh, why? But I never had those questions growing up. I had questions growing up, but I had the wrong questions. I was just like, well, why am I different? Why does everybody treat me different? Why is, you know, literally, you know, why am I treated so differently? Like a fucking golden child, like I'm special, like, you know, untouchable sometimes, you know. If Robert gets in trouble, it's different. Brandy, you know, has something and it's different. And then I have something going on, Michael, and it's different. You know. Was it different for all three of us? Yeah, but it felt really different for me. I don't know. I'm allowed to say my brother and sister's name. Why? Because they're my family. I can do that. But nobody else can. So don't do that. All right. And like I said, I don't resent. And it was, you know what? It was what it was. You know, my parents were who they were, how they were raised, whatever they had to go through is what led them to whatever decisions they made. I don't hate them. I don't resent them. I don't exactly like a lot of the things that happened. I can't change it, so there's no reason to put the energy of hate into it or them. It's just not, right? I'm over it, and by being over it, I mean I've left it behind me. You know, and I don't need to go back. That way I can talk about it and deal with it and not have a bunch of, not get all visceral about it, you know, because it is what it is, you know. I look back at a lot of the stories and go, wow, man, you know, I was pretty lucky to have those adventures, you know. I look back and and laugh about some of the shit that happened, you know, because it was so horrible and bizarre, you know. How could that possibly have happened? Are you kidding me? I keep forgetting that today's Friday, and it's time to play with matches. Everybody's like, what the hell does that mean? What do you mean playing with matches? You're not like a pyro or something, are you? I mean, you weren't like setting stuff on fire as a kid, were you? No, I was not. I was not outgoing. So I wasn't out for getting in trouble either. My brother, he was the rowdy one, you know. Me, I didn't have much excitement, nor was I looking for much excitement. The random day-to-day crap was exciting enough, all right? Yeah. just getting fed every day, that was a challenge enough, all right? Getting to school with clean clothes, that was, you know, there was enough crap, enough drama going on that I didn't want any excitement. I wanted to sit down in front of the fucking TV, if there was a fucking TV, and just chill out, right? That's what I wanted, baby. So I am going to tidy up just a little bit more here, move things around. Yeah, try not to knock things over, as it were. As it were. There you go. And there you have it. Set this there over there, like that there. And move this around. I just keep shuffling stuff back and forth from one side to the other until eventually it reaches a point to where I have enough room. And there's my pens. My pens. I'll put them in my little cup here. There we go. Now I'm starting to whisper again. Shh. All right, I'm going back. I am going back. I'm going back. Okay, I am going to get into this here, and let's change so we can actually see where I'm at here. I'm in the room. This is my box. For me, Flashback Friday, for my box, it's just a plain cardboard box because it's pretty much been the story of my life. Okay. I should have dusted this off a little bit before I brought it over. This is my collection of matchbooks. Playing with matches, get it? It's my collection of matchbooks. So, I'm going to take this top off of the matchbook jar, set it down behind me, and we are going to look into the jar of matches. Hey, Ace, there you go. And I will reach in and pull out a Circle K. Verde Springs Mixers. Circle K matchbook. This here is probably from the 80s. Or 80s or 90s. This is a used pack of matches. That's a used pack of matches. Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. There's one here. Excalibur Hotel Casino Las Vegas. Is the Excalibur still there? I don't know. I don't know. We could call them. There's a toll-free number here. There you go. These is an unused book of matches. White tipped matches. I like those. Those are cool. Here's a box. A box of matches. Room at the top. Mao Yin's Room at the Top. Mao Yin, and it's a full box of matches, and this place is in San Francisco, Chinatown. Mao Yin is the character from John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China. She is the Chinese girl with green eyes who gets kidnapped by the white dragon, Miao Yin. There you go. What do we got here? This is a special offer. It is a lifetime light. And it's got an ad on the back here, and it's a keychain holder with a light, a flashlight. It's amazing tiny light. Shines like a beacon. Won't ever leave you in the crunch or in the lurch. When the light goes out, there you go. When the lights go out, there you go. There you have it. 99 cents. 1,000 sold for $2.99. You can get yours for $1. And then on the inside, with one match missing, it shows you how to get it and gives you a little ordering form. Isn't that cool? Ah, advertising, right? This is auto insurance, low rates. Call us, SU48000 direct. I don't know what the hell that means. Call SU48000. We insure all drivers. Financial responsibility insurance. I don't know what that, does that mean liability? What is this? Now there's a cool book of matches. Jeez, here's one I haven't even seen in here. Chevron. That is a really cool book of matches. I actually have some match book covers in my junk drawer over across the room from the Apollo space mission. They're without matches because I had them shipped to me, so they took the matches out. So it's just the covers. Circle Bar Truck Corral. Ozoria, Texas, is that what this is? Ozona, Texas. Where the hell is Ozona, Texas? Oh my God, the I-10 at Taylor Box Road. The I-10. Wow. I-10, that must be northern or central Texas, I think, is where the I-10. Does the I-10 go pretty low? I don't know. You guys tell me. I do enough. Oh, I like these. The generic. Yeah. Oh, these are the military matches. These matches are designed especially for damp climates, but they will not light when wet or after long exposure, several weeks to damp, very damp air. So these are probably regular matches. I'm not going to try them. I don't want them to blow up. Learn to drive at North Shore, Illinois' largest driving school. Call now for a free booklet. There you go. These matches are a little ragged here. I don't know what the hell happened to these. There you go. I like these really decorative matches. You know, why do I have so many matches? Why do I have so much of anything? That's just how it happens. I find one thing, and then for some reason, that happens again and again and again. It just pops up like in threes. So I started with the 8-tracks. Somebody gave me something, and then something was free, and then I saw something and I had to buy it, and then that's it. This was a couple of different purchases of matches, and one just, bag of matches that just happened to come around. I used to collect lots of free crap. It's like, we're giving away crap, come pick it up. And I would just go get it and then bring it home and then just kind of whittle it down to the good stuff. And matches, they were some of the good stuff. This is First with the Finest, and it's got a building that, I don't know, Camp Pendleton, California, Federal Credit Union. I used to live right next to Camp Pendleton twice in Fallbrook. Once in 1977-78, and then once in 1999-2000. Right there along the base. Literally, I could walk up my door and pick up a rock and throw it over a fence. That was the military base. We were that close. Totally. What's this? This is La Veneto, Ristorante Italiano, Paradise Road in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it's got a rusty staple. 7 days from 5 p.m. Cocktail lounge and bar. Complete stock of international wine. Wide selection of Italian delights. That's just great. And then on there, it's got just kind of a cool line drawings of Italiano stuff. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Let me just dig down in here again and pull up the stuff from the bottom. What do we got here? This one here is a very cool picture. I don't know of what. Looks like the front entrance to something. Beverly Wilshire Hotel. So that's the front of the Beverly Wilshire. Beverly Wilshire Hotel. It's got the address, the phone number, La Bella Fontana restaurant. Took up the bar, El Padrino room. It's got a bunch of stuff. Champagne room, the ballroom. Damn. That's I wonder if that's still there. Anybody? Anybody? The Beverly Wilshire Hotel. What is this? Memorial Hospital of Long Beach, California. 2801 Atlantic Avenue. I wonder if that is still there. The Memorial Hospital. And then, of course, it has a map because you really need to know to get there. If you need the hospital, you really need it. And that's some great blue matches. Look at those matches. Those are very cool. That's a bright blue match. That's awesome. That is fucking cool. I like that. There's just something about an old pack of matches. You know, I don't know what it is. It smells like an old pack of matches. You know, a little sulfur, a little cardboard, that's flint stuff to just scrape it on. It's all got this unique smell, you know. Toluca Lake, Encino. And what's really funny is the phone numbers. If you look at the phone numbers on this, Toluca Lake is Thornwall 5 3731. Victoria 9 3641. And Encino, it's State 8 7050. And the reason they did that was, I don't know why, because in the areas, all right, and if you look at the spelling of Thornwall and Victoria and State, the first two letters are capitalized. Those two capital letters are, I guess the easiest way to explain it would be to bring over a telephone of the old days. And if you look at the telephone from the old days, which is how this got started, there are letters with each number, right? And this is an old phone. And it's got some foam on there from some thing somebody stuck on there a long time ago. So Thornwall would be TH5. So we'd go TH5 3731. And if I had been holding the receiver to my head, it would now be ringing or give me a busy signal. Right? So that's how you used to use, you know, those numbers on stuff. So these are pretty damn old matches right here. This is the Smokehouse, Ventura Boulevard in Encino. Balboa Turnoff. There's Toluca Lake Smokehouse, and then the Encino Smokehouse. And it gives you directions to both of them down here in the map. And these have got to be some old matches. Like this 7-Up matchbook. This is an old one. you know. That's an old advertisement there. Pretty cool stuff, man. It's pretty cool stuff. Let's dig it around again. Oh, and these don't have a lot of these. These are just regular standard 1990s Budweiser matches. Somebody still cares about quality, right? In this country? Are you kidding? Why do you think the Chinese make fun of us? Quality? What's that? People are on their phones. How can they worry about quality when they're on their phone, right? Lemon menthol 100s. Twist. Lemon menthol 100 cigarettes. I never heard of lemon flavored cigarettes. Our menthol is a lemon. Free. You can get a free case, right, by sending this in. That's pretty heavy. Can I just order it over the phone? They don't have a phone number? Wilbur 6. I don't want to dial Wilbur 6. There you go. That's pretty cool. Let's grab a few more. Oh, look, there's something here. This is something we're going to talk about later on Arts and Crafts Day. But this is beadwork. This is an unfinished rosette, I think is what they call these. All right. These would go on the arm, on the shoulder of Native Americans. And this is an unfinished one. I have a finished one over on the wall, the mate to this one. So what I should probably do is dig up some beads and finish this and put it with the other one and maybe attach it to my jacket. That would be cool. So I'm going to put this down in Arts and Crafts drawer down there for a later date. And then what do we got? We got this pack here, Yesterday's. And it's got a phone number, and it's all about your nostalgic establishment for food and drink. Westwood Boulevard, Westwood, California. I guess it's in Westwood. 213-208-8000. And that's it. That's all it says. It doesn't go into great detail. Yesterday's. I don't remember Yesterday's. Yeah. Memorial. We got that one already. Sam's Town. Hotel, Gambling Hall, and Bowling Center. This is Las Vegas. Boulder Highway. And it's got the usual list of accoutrements there. There you go. What is this? West Slauson Avenue. Vet Inn Motor Hotel. Oh, Jet Inn. Sorry, it's a J, not a V. Jet Inn Motor Hotel. This looks very retro. Jet Inn Motor Hotel. Heated pool, cocktails, television, conference rooms, airport service, blackout windows. This is a pretty cool book of matches. It's got the map, and it looks pretty close to Disneyland here. West Los Angeles, California. But the printing on the matches. There we go. The printing on the matches, where they give you all the amenities and stuff listed right on the matches. That is pretty fucking bitchin' there. I like that. That is pretty cool. And that very cool pink color. I like that. I like that. That's one of my favorites. All right. Hollywood Kittyland. Kids love Hollywood Kittyland, don't they? There we go. Lincoln and McCormick. Lincoln, McCormick, Devon. So there's a couple of locations. Kittyland, Hollywood. Save now for summer fun. This is a used pack of matches. And it says each match top you take to Hollywood Kittyland, you get 2 free rides. So this is 2 free rides here with the purchase of 8 rides for $1. So you spend $1, and with this you get 2 extra rides. That's a pretty good deal. Eight rides for $1. Of course, this is probably 1960s or 70s, because this looks pretty old, and I don't know how long Hollywood Kittyland has been gone, but I don't know that it's there. I don't know nothing about nothing. I don't know nothing about nothing. The Dandelion Cafe, Venice Boulevard, Venice, California. We use the finest, most natural ingredients, catering and takeout available. Venice Boulevard. Unused. And I really like the lion. That is a very cool dandelion. He's dandy. He's a lion, and he's dandy. Isn't he dandy? That's so cool. That is so cool. Let's take a break for a minute. Doing that stretching, holding those matches up are really tough. They're so tough on me. Yeah. Besides, I think it's time to do a bong hit. It's time for a bong hit. And then, because we got a pretty easy show today, we'll, hello? Hello? I thought I heard it ring. Get these things on, so. Yeah, baby. Oh yeah, bong hit. So it's already packed, so I'm ready to go. So hold your horses. Hold your horses. And don't hold their hair unless you're bareback. There you go. There you go. The Navy Seabees 25th anniversary, 1967. So these are pretty, there I am, there I go, there I am. These have got to be old. 1967. 100th anniversary Civil Engineer Corps. Join the Seabees. Yeah, I knew it was a recruitment. The recruitment things. There's a lot of old recruitment memorabilia. That would be one for a collector, recruitment collector. Commissioned Officers Mess opened. So a lot of these, I had a small bag of these that came from someone who was in the military and actually went kind of around and, the NIO Club. That would be the Naval Air Station, North Island, Coronado, California. Wow. The officers. Oh, commissioned officers mess. That's pretty cool. There we go. Let me try to get these up here where you can actually see what the hell's on them. There we go. Oh, stupid fingers. The NIO Club. That's coolness. What's this one? Caesars, Atlantic City. Huh. There you go. Caesars and Atlantic City. The branding iron. Oak Lawn Bowl. Huh. Oh, here we go. There was somebody who did railroad stuff too. Northern Pacific Railway, the Vista Dome, North Coast Limited, Chicago, Twin Cities, North Pacific Coast, North Pacific Railway, unused. What's this one? What's this? Liberal Loan Corporation. All we need is your signature. Crawford, 7-2600. So that would be Crawford, C-R, 7-2600. And then if you make it wrong and you do an I and you go, ah, crap, I got to dial again. Ah, crap, and you got to do all over again. Ah, fucking, what was that? Crawford, shit. Yeah. Ah, what have we got here? What is this? Business, Bernstein's Fish Grotto. Well, when you think fish, you think Bernstein. Bernstein's Fish Grotto, Powell Street. Is this near the wharf? Is this wharf stuff? Home of famous cuckoo clams. Seafood house since 1907, right after the earthquake, right? Hey, who wants to eat? We'll get you some fish. King Edward cigars. Anybody ever smoke King Edward cigars? Yeah, America's largest selling stank. Alright, what's this? 12 ways to success. And then just fill it out, send it in. And then learn a new career at home. There you go. Let's see, accounting, business management, motel management, ICS high school diploma, engineering, TV servicing, electrician, drafting, auto mechanic, air conditioning and refrigeration, electronics, interior decorating. So basically they send you a couple of books and some test material, and you have to promise to do the tests with a witness, making sure that you do it properly. And you do your shit, you send it in, they send you a certificate, that's it. Sometimes they send you to a person who is like registered to give you the examination. But usually you got to do that shit on your own. But you get the books, you get the information. Britwell Company. No money now, just mail in this coupon. No better gift at any price. Deluxe quality address labels. Ah, so this just gives you address labels, like the ones that AAA sends you. Like I have a shitload of them. Do I have some here? Do I have some here? I probably do. I probably do. Oh my gosh, do I? Britwell, it's this, probably in a drawer that I can't get in right now. So fuck it. Alright, so anyway, we're looking at matches. We're playing with matches here. Let's dig up. Oh, what's that? That's cool. Alright, so let's see. Here's one. Flying Tiger, Employees Federal Credit Union, International Airport, Los Angeles. It's got some boat loans are now available. And what's really cool about that is look at that shine. Look at the gold shine on those fucking matches. Right? Those are pretty fucking snazzy. Pretty fucking snazzy. You know? And they're unopened and they're super cool and shiny. Right? Oh my gosh, those are nice. I like those. Oh, and then there's these. Check these out. This is the Marine Air Federal Credit Union, Santa Ana, California, and servicing our members and their families for over 15 years. And that's got some cool artwork on it. And I like this little, come on, crest thingy there. That's coolness. That's cool. Learn to drive at North Shore. We did that one. Casa Vallarta, Mexicano food. Casa Vallarta. It's Casa Vallarta, asshole. I know. And we've got several locations. Los Angeles, Hollywood, Glendale, Atwater, Tustin, Santa Ana, Brea, Santa Monica, Montclair, Old Town San Diego, Rancho Bernardo, and San Diego. Rancho Bernardo. Where's Rancho Bernardo? Is that San... It doesn't say anything about San Bernardino. Poor Dino. The San Bernardino. This is hot. Poor little guy. Oh, here we go. We'll end with this one here. This one here is Trump Plaza. All right. And it is the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino. And here's the inside. Why am I showing you this? Why not? It's in my collection, and it's pretty interesting. And how old is this, right? That's the thing, is how old is that? Is that logo, right? The TP. How old is this graphic? You know, can anybody tell me how old this is? What year these graphics are from? Because that's going to tell the tale. That's going to tell when these were being used, and when this particular logo was being used, is going to give us the year of when these matches came about. So there you go, man. Totally, dude. I'm going to heat up my coffee. I'm going to heat up my coffee. I'm going to put these matches down here. And put them down. That's heavy. Put the jar top back on. I'm going to heat up my coffee. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, because if you do, I'll come looking for you. I will. I'll do it. I'll do it. So I uploaded the last night, overnight, I uploaded the video time machine for this evening, and it got 2 hits on a couple of movie trailers. I put, of course, Car Wash and Exorcist because of the music. So I have to make a decision on what to do. I think what I'm going to do is delete them. I think that's going to be my easiest fix, is just to go back to the program, edit them out of the video that I have created, and save it with those 2 things. Just edit it out, politely removed, and then save it and re-upload it. And it's already way over 90 minutes, so it's not even going to go under 90 minutes. They are, the trailers are, 2 and 3 minutes long and stuff, but it's not gonna shrink down my video time machine by any noticeable difference. It's already pretty long. Basically because I've got 2 episodes packed into it. One episode of an old 1950s country western variety show, and then a kids TV show from the 80s. By kids I mean like public television kids program, that kind of thing. But I don't have to remove any of the important stuff that is in the video time machine, namely the stuff that I put in there with Ruth Buzzy, because Ruth Buzzy passed away last week. So this week I'm putting a few things in this to pay tribute to Ruth Buzzi. And one of them is this episode of this kids show, and I cannot for the life of me recall the name of this kids show, but it has 2 adults in it, and the 2 adults in the show play all of the adult roles. And because Ruth Buzzi was so versatile, she could do any character. And when she did that character, you believed it. If she did a hot blonde chick, you were like, oh, yowza, wagga, wagga, wagga. I mean, it was seriously. If she did an old lady, you were like, oh my God, you helped that lady across the street. She was really super good at every character she did. Even if she was just herself, she was just awesome. So I found this show where she is a regular. And she has to, in this one episode, she plays like, I think, 5 characters. You know, and it's just a parent, a teacher, you know, a nurse. I mean, she just, all these different characters. It's like crazy. And she was in a million movies. She was literally in a bunch of movies and TV shows. Because they needed that girl who could do anything. You know, she was even in a movie with her husband, who was like a comedian guy who actually did a little bit of acting. You know, I can't remember his name either. His last name was not Buzzi. Her name was actually Ruth Ann Buzzi. That was her name, Buzzi, Buzzi. Buzzi was her name. It wasn't a stage name. It was her actual name. And she was an awesome chick. Yeah. I've probably got, in my movie collection here alone, in my actual physical collection of DVDs and VHS and Betamax and whatever else, I've probably got a half dozen. Unknowingly, I probably had at least a half a dozen movies with her in there. You know. And if not, I would be totally surprised. Because she was everywhere. She was everywhere. Totally everywhere. I mean, totally, like totally. Okay, eh? It's like for sure, eh? Just checking. They're supposed to turn my phone on any day now. Oh, wait, I gotta plug it in. Son of a bitch. There you go. Operator, won't you help me place this call? Yeah. Going in. So anyways, like, you know, for some reason, I keep thinking back to 1978, 79, right? I think it was like 79. We were in between houses. We had left the mobile home that we were living at in 1977, the end of 77, the beginning of 78, right? At the end of that school year, I believe, we left Fallbrook and the little mobile home trailer we were living in, and the trailer park was a rental. And my parents bought a van. They bought a 1976 Dodge Maxi van, real long van. Didn't have a large top on it, but it was really long. Had a bed and chairs and a, you know, refrigerator and TV and stuff in it. And it had really low mileage because the guy had bought it. He drove it to the East Coast. He did some stuff and then he drove back. And he just went along the way and stayed along the way. And then he was done with it, and he wanted to sell it. So we picked it up for a really good price. It had this big, giant, I mean, it was literally this tall and this deep was this big, giant metal bumper on the back of this thing. And I think he had that big metal bumper attached, not just to pull the trailer, but to put stuff on. and use as a workbench. So we had this big bench, metal bench, on the back of this van. No rack. It's just this slim Dodge van tube, right? Looked like a tube of toothpaste. And so they bought that, and we went back east. And then came back with nowhere to live. Right? But this matchbook, I saw this matchbook, and it reminded me of a motel. We stayed in a few motels every once in a while, mainly because it was cheap, and we could get in there and shower and do laundry and that kind of stuff. And so we were kind of gypsy hobos, right? Nomads for a little while. And we were in the city. We were like right off the 91. And there was this motor lodge, this motel, and it was, the L-shaped with the main building and the pool and the little wall up front, so you had to come through and park, and it was, it was one of those old school motor lodges, motor hotels. A motel is what they call them. And so one night we get a room, and we come out in the morning, and our van that we had just gotten was gone. Somebody had stolen it in the middle of the night. And it was fucking horrible. We had everything that we owned in it. Whatever we hadn't taken up to the room with us. My father had underneath the the bed in the back, my father had his Marantz stereo receiver. Big badass fucking receiver. And, of course, that was one of his most prized possessions, so it was in the van, along with whatever prized possessions we were allowed to have in a van on the road as fucking gypsies. So, which wasn't much. So we didn't have much to begin with. And then someone stole our van, and we were really lucky because within a couple of days it was found near a school in like Santa Ana or something, just the next city over. And so we went over and identified it, and everything was missing, and it was, the TV that was built into it, a bunch of stuff was all fucked up in it. But we got our van back, and we had it for another 10 years. But I remember how horrible it was to come out and see the only thing that we had was gone. And now we were completely fucking homeless. And now we're at a hotel that we can't really afford to stay at. I don't know how my parents worked out a deal with this guy. Maybe it was the fact that we were staying there and we got our fucking, our world stolen from us, And I guess maybe they felt bad for us because we were there for a couple of days, and then we were going to get our van that was literally in an impound yard. Or, no, I think they had just, found it on the street, and they were like, hey, is this your van? They said, come down and identify it. And I don't even think we had to go to a lot to pick it up. It was like we just picked it up right there, filled out some paperwork, and that was it. But we got it back. There was nothing we could do about anything that was gone. Nothing that was in it that was missing was worth much anyway, except for my father's Marantz stereo receiver that was, a badass fucking stereo, and it was gone. Yeah. I remember thinking, wow, does this mean we're going to move into a house now? No. But we did. We did. Within a few months after that, my grandmother, my father's mother, rented us a house because we couldn't. Because we still had the past hanging over us, whether it was, the DEA or the CIA and the FBI from Woundini. I mean, who knows? But, my father could go to school, which, of course, puzzled me. That's a real easy way for them to keep tabs on you, is to go to school, right? Totally. Because it's all financial aid. It's all government stuff. Where the hell's my knife? Ah, damn it. Son of a monkey's uncle. Oh, here it is. Never mind. Yeah. the late 70s, they were still pretty weird. They were still pretty weird for us. We were just running around. We were just literally just running around all the time. I never knew where we were going to fucking be. One morning we'd wake up and we'd be at Santa Monica Pier, parked right there in a parking lot, looking at the beach out the front of the motorhome, looking out over the Pacific Ocean. My mother grabbing tackle, borrowing tackle from people. She says, "Hi, I was thinking about going doing some fishing. Do you have some line again?" And she would just do this, and she'd wind up with everything she needed to go out onto the pier and fish. And she'd go out and she'd catch fucking bluegill and cook up fucking bluegill, right? And it's like, okay, And I couldn't stand the smell, the sight, the taste of any of it. It was just it horrified me to no end. The whole fishing experience, right? I did fish once as a little kid. Didn't enjoy it much. I caught a fish, big catfish, but I didn't enjoy it much. I was like, oh look, now what do I do with it? Oh no, just put it back. Just put it back. My parents are like, no, we're eating this fucker. I'm like, oh, I don't want any. Not just because it came out of Lake Elsinore. But, yeah, and then one morning we'd wake up at Santa Monica Pier looking out over the Pacific Ocean, and then we'd wake up in Arizona looking out over Lake Havasu, or down in Mexico, at La Pufadora, or fucking anywhere, Nebraska, South Dakota, Oregon, Washington. We could just literally fucking wind up anywhere when I was a kid. And who knows why we were there or how long we would be there, but we'd be there, and we'd do whatever required us to be there, even if it was just doing nothing, and then we'd leave and wind up somewhere else. We'd literally go to sleep and wake up and not know where the fuck we were, And then sometimes we'd wake up in a place and they would be saying, okay, come on, we got to get you to school. And we'd be like, what? Yeah. School started like a week and a half ago. We got to get you guys to school. But where are we? We're in Watts. Where the hell is Watts? It's in L.A. in California. Okay. School. What grade am I in? I don't know. Well, what's my teacher's name? I don't know. We're gonna find that out. Okay. Do I have any new clothes? No. No. We're gonna take this. We're gonna go like this. And it's like, okay. And I would walk into a classroom, halfway through the second week of the beginning of the year. And in this case, walking into school in Watts was walking in and being one of two white kids in the classroom. Right. Which wasn't, I didn't see it as a bad thing, because any of the other schools I had gone to and done this, it was always a bunch of white kids staring at me and mocking me, right? Like, oh, look at that, So at first I thought, oh gosh, at least they're not a bunch of fucking assholes. And then that slowly started to change, because I was singled out for being, not by kids in my class. Kids in my class thought I was kind of cool and an oddity, right? Because I had long blonde hair and I was really white, spooky white. And it was the kids in the other grades, the upper grades, that would really fuck with me, because I was so different. And I was really, really white in an all minority school in Watts, California. So that didn't last a whole lot of time. It was only weeks or months or something we were there. And then we were off to another place. I think from there we moved to Lake Elsinore. and decided that that was going to be a little slower pace for us, because the city was just way too fucking much. No. Too much going on in the city, and we had to walk back and forth to school through blocks and blocks and blocks of city, and that was dangerous as hell, being a couple of little white punks in an all black neighborhood, so that was pretty heavy, but I learned a lot, and I learned a lot when we went to an all Native American school, Red Cloud Indian School, back in Niobrara, Nebraska, or South Dakota, or some shit like that. I mean, that was heavy too. We were there for a week or more. Yeah. But we had that van through a lot of that. At the end of the 70s, all the way through the end of the 80s. I don't remember when that van finally took a crap and it was done, But my grandmother, she always had a really nice van conversion. I think it was after we got ours, she went from owning cars to owning really nice van conversions. And every couple of years, she'd go out and she'd trade hers in and get a really nice brand new van conversion and drive that. Something with a sofa bed in the back and chairs and stereo 8-track. And she had all kinds of great 8-tracks. And she was a crazy lady on the road. She was Sioux with a little Irish in her, so she was pretty wild. If I am related to her, then that's where I get it from. I don't think I am, though. Honestly, what are you gonna do? Bong hit. We got a few minutes left, and then it's adios for the week. We did not read from the TV Guide, did we? So, Friday evening, May 11th, 1973. What's going on? Prime time. Bill Moyer's Journal, Hogan's Heroes, Green Acres. Book beat. 5 Fingers. Bonanza. 7 p.m. Dragnet, Muñeca, Genie. Yeah, those are like standards. Hogan's Heroes, That Girl. 8 o'clock, prime time. Brady Bunch. Showtime for the Brady's Kids. Talent Night. Didn't we just watch that? Yeah, it's a repeat, that's why. Must be the popular one. Sanford and Son. America's Junior Miss Pageant. Let's see. Partridge Family at 8:30. Little People. Happy Birthday, Not for Dr. Jameson. Little People. What is that? Dr. Jameson, Brian Keith. Stephen Haig. Sean Tyler. Anne Shelley. Oh, Shelley Fabre. Victoria Young. I don't recognize that show. Boxing from the Olympic on tape. At 9 o'clock, room 222. That's pretty cool. Pete Lloyd Haynes. James Dot, room 222. That guy, that black guy with the mustache on that show. I ran into him at oh gosh, that's got a long time ago. Probably 10 years ago, I ran into him at a Chinese buffet in Palm Springs. Let's see, Doug McClure in Circle of Fear, repeat. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Movie, Elvis Presley, The Trouble with Girls. 9:30, The Odd Couple. At 10, Love American Style. A lot of people. Louis Gossett. Before he was Louis Gossett Jr., he was just Lou Gossett. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Jackie Coogan, Dick Van Patten, a bunch of weird ones. Bold Ones at 10. Bold Ones. David Hartman, E.G. Marshall, Richard Basehart. Yeah. I love a good E.G. Marshall. I love his voice. I can just sit and listen to E.G. Marshall, read poetry off a bathroom wall. Seriously. I'm telling you. I told you. The Castle of Terror, Italian, 1964, in concert. Soul with Gladys Knight, Johnny Carson, and then, of course, drummer Buddy Rich is on Johnny Carson. At 1 a.m. on Friday, midnight special, comic. Comics Burns and Schreiber are the hosts. Guests include the Hollies, the OJs, Mark Almond. In concert, New Purple Riders of the Sage, Hot Tuna, Jerry Lee Lewis, Gladys Knight and the Pips. Wow, some good late night stuff here. And then somebody here filled out the crossword. Of course, they did it in pencil, so I can always erase it. Maybe. How long does he have to erase pencil before it's permanent? Is there a thing? All right, we got a Kent ad here for cigarettes. We'll show you that one, and then we'll go to the end here, and we got Parliament ad here at the end, and then we've got these 8 records and tapes for 99 cents. All right, and it looks like the Carpenter's face is there. So there you go. There's that, and a shot of my bong. So I was just going to zoom in here. Polydent. Yeah, that is the Carpenters, and I have a lot of these records. Wow. Yeah, I do, and a few in 8-track, a lot in 8-track. So that's pretty cool, man. So there you go. So once again, the record of the day is Foreigner, and there's the link there, and then the TV guide of the week has got the Columbo on the cover, and that's going to do it. That is going to do it for the week. I am and always will be Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy, and I will be back Monday morning, bright and early. Next week is the last week of my daughter at university, so it's possible that I am going to be able to get into doing more here with you all as far as live goes. So yeah, tune in and see what's going on in the future, because it's crazy, baby. It is crazy. It's wacky, wild, zany stuff. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? People are like, what the fuck is he talking about, Vern, right? Oh my God. All right, people, you know what to do. All right? Be kind to each other. Spread peace and love, not bullshit. Don't make war. Do something nice for yourself, but do something for somebody else too. Why? Because you can. See you later, Joey. Take care of yourself, brother. Keep in touch. Do something for somebody else, because it makes you feel good. Makes them feel good. Makes everybody feel good. Makes the world a better place. Most especially out there, stay weird, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody going to be weird for you. You got to do it yourself. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the effort to be weird. Just be yourself, baby. Nowadays, that's weird. That's weird enough. All right, until Monday morning, I will see you this evening. Fingers crossed that the video time machine gets uploaded in time. I'm going to work on it right now. All right, y'all, take care of yourselves. Gosh, see you Monday, Joey. See you soon. See you real soon. Can't believe you're coming. That's awesome, dude. All right, take care of yourself. Bye.
Adios.